Preparation is very important when you want to migrate your workload to cloud. So let's look at 5 things that you need to do before you move your workload to the cloud. First of all, perform a skills check. You need to check whether you have got the requisite skills that you require for you to move your workload to the cloud. You need your programming skills, platform expertise, whether you want to host your cloud workload on Azure, AWS, Google, Oracle, etc. You need to know the platform. You need to have network management skills, the same skills that you require on-prem to manage your workload, to manage your connectivity, is the similar skills that you need to manage your cloud platform. DevOps, you need to understand your CI/CD pipeline for you to deliver your applications that you have developed into the cloud. You need to be able to secure your cloud environment. The same security that you implemented on-prem is the same that you need to implement on cloud. You need also to have the expertise to migrate data. There is a lot of data migration that happens on cloud. You also need to know how to communicate. You'll be working with teams. You need to know how to gel your teams together towards the objective of moving workload to the cloud. You also need to have the capability to automate. There's lots of automation in cloud. You need to know some scripting language, some JSON languages. You need to be able to automate most of the tasks, be it provisioning, scaling. There is a lot of automation. Machine learning and AI, cloud has been created with orientation towards machine learning and AI. So these are the skills that you need for you to get the best out of cloud computing. You need database skills. The same databases that are set on-prem are the same that are set on cloud. The difference is that they are now on demand and they are scalable, always available. Governance, very important. You are working with different teams that are managing governance of cloud migration. Risk team, business continuity team, project team, steering team, and at times audit team are also involved in this process. So you need governance skills so that whatever you are doing aligns with the strategic objectives of the organization at large. After skills check, we now focus on readiness assessment. You need to come up with the workload inventory. This defines the status quo, what you currently have on your on-prem environment. So you're looking at systems, you're looking at applications, you're looking at integrations, databases, security, firewalls, VPNs, and containers. So for each of these, you need to have attributes that are associated with these components. So you might need to look at RAM, you might need to look at storage, CPUs that are required, the network that is required, and any other attributes that might be required for each of these components of the inventory. After your inventory, the next thing that you have to look at is the compatibility or the readiness status. So we need to determine each component, whether is it compatible, is it not compatible, or it requires further modification. So this will help you to have your assessment of the workload, whether you are ready to move to the cloud or there are certain changes that you need to do for you to be able to move to cloud. You also need to understand your maturity level. So you look at your technology, your processes, your people. Are you ready for you to migrate to the cloud? As Cloud Credential Council indicated that you need cultural readiness. So you need your people to be culturally ready to move to the cloud. You need a needs assessment, you need technical readiness, budgetary readiness. Is the finance available for you to support you to move to the cloud? And do you have enough resources for you to move to the cloud? Third step, select a cloud adoption approach. So there are different cloud deployment models that are available. You can either apply the public cloud, which is accessible by anyone, and then a private cloud that is only accessible to you, a community cloud, a group of people coming together or companies coming together to form a cloud, and then on this platform they are the ones that only access it, or a hybrid cloud where you can combine on-prem and public cloud. So you have a hybrid cloud. At times you might have workload that cannot be deployed on a public cloud and you still want to keep them on-prem. This is the best approach to take. Usually when people are starting to migrate to cloud, they adopt this approach first and then migrate to a public cloud. And some of the top 10 cloud providers include AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba, Salesforce, Dell, IBM, DigitalOcean, Adobe, and Dropbox. Additionally, there are three offerings that you can choose from. That's infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Infrastructure as a service, this is whereby you have on-demand access to cloud-hosted physical and virtual server storage and networking. So you have a server that is similar to the one that is on-prem, and you are managing everything, and most of the operations are managed by the customer. Then on platform as a service, this is whereby you have on-demand access to complete ready-to-use cloud-hosted platform for developing, running and maintaining and managing applications. Well, taking an example, your access to the VMs, your access to the Azure firewalls, if you are working on Azure. So these are on demand. Your access to the database servers for you to configure the databases. Then on SaaS, which is software as a service, this is on demand access to ready-to-use cloud-hosted application software. So we give an example of Microsoft. If you are using Microsoft SharePoint, that's a SaaS, because it's a ready-to-use application that is cloud-hosted by Microsoft. You have a clear roadmap. This is the next step. It's important for you to come up with a business case that outlines what are the drivers, what are the business outcome, what are the financial considerations, what is the benefit of moving to the cloud to the business. This has to be clear, this has to be understandable, and then you need to come up with a strategy which explains or outlines the implementation plan, governance issues, and issues to do with the exit strategy. So you need to do all the financial consideration, very important, the cost benefit analysis, the forecasting, what are going to be the cost in the next 5 years, what are the current costs, what if we maintain the status quo, what is the refresh of the on-premises data center like for the next 5 years. So it's important to do everything clearly so that people understand. You also need to come up with the roles and responsibility, the cloud excellence team in your strategy. You need to indicate who will be responsible, which are the stakeholders, who is the sponsor of this project, and from this implementation, this strategy, you come up with your project outline, which will be followed, or more like a proposal that will be followed for you to adopt clouds. For each workload, you need to determine what approach are you going to use. Are you going to rehost? Are you going to replatform, refactor, retire, retain, repurchase? These are all the options for each and every inventory that you have identified earlier. So if you are rehosting, this is just a lift and shift strategy. You are just shifting the VM as it is, the server as it is on-prem with its features, and you are putting it on cloud. Replatform, this is a lift and shift strategy, but it's got gives you the ability to make some optimizations to improve the functionality of whatever is being shifted to the cloud. Refactor, usually done at code level. You are changing some of the components of the code for it to match what you want it to do in the cloud. So there is some modification, there are some changes that are happening to the application. Retire. At times there are some applications that you would see that these applications are not cloud agnostic, so why should we keep them? Let's put them away. So you are retiring such applications. Retain. At times you have got some workload that you would have upgraded recently or that you have invested in on-prem. You can retain them on the on-prem environment, and this usually is supported by the hybrid cloud infrastructure where you have some workload on-prem and some workload on cloud. Repurchase. At times you might have an application that is not performing well. Even migrating to the cloud will not guarantee that it will perform well. So you leave that, you drop that application, and you purchase a new application that replaces that application, and the new application has to be cloud agnostic, and you have it on cloud. Make sure that you manage governance issues. Very important. So you need your risk management to be on point, you need your project management to be on point, you need your compliance to be on point, regulatory compliance or industry compliance has to be on point. Your security and privacy has to be on point. You need to be able to secure your cloud workload and make sure that the migration you are doing to the cloud is not bringing any vulnerability to your network. Business continuity, you need to know to make sure that while you are migrating to the cloud, business processes are not disrupted and there is continuity. Auditing and budgeting, always align. Make sure that you are not digressing from the budget, and you make sure that your spending are aligned to the budget. Monitoring, you need to always monitor everything that is happening in your cloud environment. You need to monitor the migration to the cloud, the performance, costs. You need to be on point on monitoring so that you know any changes that are happening in your cloud platform. Change management, very important. A lot of changes happen when you're migrating to the cloud, and it's important that you master your change management. Manage your changes and make sure that they are being done properly. Improperly done changes will lead to ballooning of costs, and you end up exhausting your budget before even reaching the end of the month. So make sure that you manage your changes on the cloud platform, and make sure that you control your costs. And this brings us to the end of the 5 important actions that you need to take before moving to the cloud. Very important, very important. Thank you.